Hello, I'm Drew Hiatt, and welcome to the first edition of Drew's News. Tonight's Week in Review will cover the week of Sunday, March 6th through Thursday, March 10th, 2011. In local news, Governor Beshear has called lawmakers back to Frankfort for a special session on Monday. This session is intended to address the state's Medicaid program budget as well as the state's dropout age. Governor Beshear said Monday, "People in the state ought to be outraged by the fact that I have to call a special session to get a job done that should have been done over the last 2 months. These proposals have created great unrest within the state legislature, prompting both sides to speak out." It's clear that many of the remarks made by Governor Beshear have been directed towards Senate President and potential gubernatorial candidate David Williams, a Republican from Burkesville. Williams responded to the governor by saying, "This is one of the most ridiculous things I've seen in my entire life, and the guy has gone from sublime to ridiculous." Well, it seems the campaigns for Kentucky governor are heating up early and show no signs of letting up. In national news, we first turn to politics. In Wisconsin, the fiasco that began a few weeks ago when Senate Democrats fled the State House in response to a landmark vote about a bill that would strip public workers of their collective bargaining rights is coming to an interesting close. Senate Republicans entered the legislature under police escort Thursday morning, armed with an altered version of the bill that would allow them to continue even in the absence of their Democratic colleagues. In the economy, who or what is to blame for the steeply increasing price of oil? This week, House Republicans attacked Democrats, blaming the party's blockage of increased U.S. oil production. Representative Ed Markey, a Democrat from Massachusetts, responded with, "I find it shocking that Republicans would first attack the President of the United States before pointing a finger at Colonel Gaddafi of Libya." Which leads us into tonight's world news. In Libya, the conflict continues. Thursday, Muammar Gaddafi's troops removed rebel forces from a key military position, and as the fighting continues, German, U.S., United Kingdom, and other countries have frozen billions of dollars in assets that are being held in the Libyan central bank. And now for entertainment. This week, it's all about Sheen on Drew's News. This week, Charlie Sheen's out-of-control meltdown has continued as Warner Brothers fired the Two and a Half Men star. Charlie, who publicly did not take the news well, has filed a $100 million lawsuit against the company. What can I say? I guess he's winning. And now let's hear about UK's big win in this week's Wildcats Sports Report. A lot's going on with the University of Kentucky Wildcats early this March. The men's basketball team took a trip down to Knoxville to play rival Tennessee Vols last Sunday. Freshmen were the story of the night. Point guard Brandon Knight finished with 19 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists, while fellow freshman Terrence Jones, SEC Player of the Year, had a double-double with 15 points, 12 rebounds, and 3 assists. All of this in the Cats' 64-58 victory over the Volunteers. Now the Cats are headed down to Catlanta, Georgia for the SEC men's basketball tournament, where they will face off against Ole Miss Rebels on Friday. Tip-off is set for 3:30. And in football, UK had Pro Day today. Scouts from over 27 NFL teams were on hand to watch next year's potential draft picks, such as Randall Cobb. In this week's weather report, it's going to be a bit different. Spring break's coming up at the end of the week, so we're having a special spring break edition of the forecast. Starting off with all you freshmen headed down to the always wonderful Fort Lauderdale, Florida. You're looking at an absolutely gorgeous and sunny week with highs in the upper 70s and low 80s nearing the end of the week. And another popular destination this year is Daytona Beach, Florida. You too will experience a nice clear week with the possibility of isolated thunderstorms on Tuesday. It's going to be a bit colder for you with highs in the low to mid 70s all week. That's all for this edition of Drew's News, and have a great spring break everyone and safe travels.